Hello, and welcome back to Nick's Hobbies and Interests. Well, here we go. A Displate review finally. It's part of their limited edition range. It is Street Race. This must have released, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. It is still available on their website. There is only 700 made, so if you do like what you see, head over to Displate. This is not a promotional video, this is just my personal copy I picked up. I'm very into Cyberpunk and this kind of fits the theme very well, so I grabbed myself a copy immediately. Let's start with the colour palette, shall we? There's an electric blue coming from obviously the bike's illuminated wheels. We've got the headlights doing the same thing, and then of course there's the blue in the helmets as well. As you can see, fading into that yellow sunset behind the two bikes. And then of course let's address the back scene here. We have stripes of pink coming through these girder bridges or girder framework, as you can see, and then you've got the hovercraft above and in between the two arches there. Regarding the 3D printing, it has been nicely implemented on the bikes and the motorcyclists, as well as the girder bridges or girder framework, as I said earlier, behind them. Talking about behind, let's have a look at what issue number we have here. Let's just remove the magnet and the wipe. Okay, we have number 48 out of 700. Manufactured on the 29th of September. So yes, it does go a little way back now. And like I say, a couple of weeks. Now, if you're one of these that likes the 3D printing, this does... I don't want to say it lacks 3D printing, but it does have a real mix between the 3D print element and then just being plainly textured. If you take the road, that's been nicely textured, but I wouldn't quite call it 3D printing. It has a nice ridge to it, but compared to the bikes and the motorcyclist, the girder bridge, and those strips in the sky of pink, yeah, it's a very light texture to it. Nice glossy puddles though, I do like that, around the wheel. Naturally the electric blue speaks for itself. I really think that's what makes this Displate in particular pop. The colour coding's great, the detail on the bikes is awesome. You can't display this upside down like some, but you can definitely take some great shots from certain angles and it still makes you feel like you're looking at it a different way. Your perception of it is kind of filtered in certain ways. That's going to be hard to explain, so I'm going to try and do my best to show you in some of the photos I have taken. They're quite distant, but the hovercraft in the background was actually one of the key things that got my attention, as well as the motorcycle helmet and the illuminated wheels. If you've played Cyberpunk, there is, even though you can't fly any unless you use mods, there is plenty of sort of air traffic, vehicles that do obviously hover and fly. So naturally, when I was looking at this, the preview version, I was thinking of the video game and how many ties and Easter eggs there could be. And then, of course, by the end of the video, especially this one, I had to get some merchandise out, didn't I? I had to get my Cyberpunk statue, the light-up sign, and play around with them a bit. Try and use the Displate as a backdrop, because in the end, that's most likely what it's going to be. Once the work on the house has been done and I'm comfortable putting my limited edition range back out on display, the chances are this piece will go with my Cyberpunk collection. Okay, with all that being said, I do actually think this is a good time to wrap up the video before it gets too long. You're probably wanting to know my review score. Personally, I do love it, but I'm going to take into account today that people out there are listening to me and taking in my advice. So with that being said, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's personally really well done, but if you're familiar with Displate's work, it's not their best limited edition. The 3D printing doesn't go from top to bottom, fair enough. It is nicely textured, but at the same time, apart from the bikes, it's a bit bland. And that's putting it nicely. I really love it, but if I'm going to speak not on behalf of everyone, but if my opinion matters whether you're buying it or not, yeah, I would say give it a think. they're not cheap, and especially if you're going to end up buying it after they sell out officially, it means you're probably going to pay a bit more money. And yeah, if you're going to listen to my recommendation, I would definitely think about it before you commit. I would love to know what you think in the comment section below. Please do leave a comment, let me know. This isn't a promotional video, it is just a review based on the copy I've bought. So yes, if you got this far, thank you for watching, take care.